Hey guys, Kudus Campbell here for thebuttonsmashers.com, and this is our review for Children of Zodiarcs. Fate is one of our greatest allies until she turns against us. Are you born a noble, or forced to live as a slave, destined to play a role of a hunter or prey? All of life comes down to the rule of a dice, and in this game, it's more literal than you may expect. This sensational strategy RPG was developed by Montreal-based developer Cardboard Utopia and published by Square Enix. The game was originally founded on Kickstarter, but I had not heard of it until we received a press release close to the release date, which is surprising because games like this come around only a few times in a lifetime. Games that send you on an emotional roller coaster, the kind of game that genuinely makes you feel something, the kind that makes you ask questions. Upon finishing Children of the Zodiarcs, I couldn't help but sit and ponder about what I had just experienced. 56 hours of playtime that is now plastered upon my heart forever. Oh, and here's the silly part. I didn't expect to spend that much time with this game. I thought it was going to be some generic strategy RPG on Steam that's not bad, but not good either. I was wrong. 100% wrong. This game is special enough that I want to climb to the roof of the tallest building that I can find and sing its praises. The story is centered around a group of orphan children who belong to a gang that attempts to steal a relic from a noble family. My first impressions of the plot was that I had already figured it out, and that I was not even going to need to complete the entire game to get the full essence of what the developers were expertly trying to portray in the game. Thankfully, like I mentioned before, I was wrong in my initial assumptions about the game, and I continued to be wrong all the way to the final chapter. Here's a little tip for those of you planning to pick up this game. I strongly recommend playing the side stories as soon as they appear, as well as reading the skits on the city map. If you miss these, and it's quite possible to do so, you will be experiencing a completely different story from the one that I did. These little snippets and so-called side stories may seem optional, but they are not. I'm going to stress it again, you need to play them. The overarching plot and the writing that conveys it is so well written and robust that it's able to portray complex societal eccentricities that have plagued human civilization for as long as we've been able to document our experiences. These archaic concepts include social classes, which serve only to restrain our advancement as a species, and it is this particular issue that is the focal point of Children of Zodiarcs. Plot aside, this is still a strategy RPG at its core. Games like Gordo's Future Past, Utuwari Romono, and Summer Night 6 are the first titles that come to mind when thinking about the grid-based strategy systems in play in this game. Each character has their own range of grid squares that they can occupy per turn, and they also each have a few moves that they can execute depending on their position on the map, other characters, and abilities. That being said, the game does bring something new to the genre by mixing in a few board game type elements into the gameplay. Before entering battle, you're able to choose between a set amount of cards and dice. The variety of choices available to you increases as your character levels up and progresses through the game. In battle, you're able to hold up to 7 cards on each character, then execute the effects of these cards by rolling the dice. The dice have symbols on them that either buff or reduce the effects of the cards played, as well as activating special effects like extra moves during character turns. This unique way of playing helps make what could be a familiar experience feel more dynamic. The roll of the dice is unpredictable, and though you are able to reroll 2 dice per turn, you are still not guaranteed a favorable outcome. The game is also playable using a dice auto-roll feature, which I do not recommend using because it nerfs the reroll feature. This is because when dice are rerolled the manual way, they have a chance of affecting other dice played by knocking into them. But with auto reroll, only the 2 chosen dice are affected by the reroll. The game also allows the player to speed up the play so that they can mostly skip the opposition turn by just holding the A button on the Xbox One controller for PC or the X button on the PS4. Graphically, the game is pretty good looking, and it's not very demanding to run either. I was able to run the game on my work PC at 1080p 60 frames per second effortlessly on a rig that would be considered a mid-range PC. I've taken the liberty of leaving the specs in the description below for those who may be curious about what was used for the review. As for the camera in the game, it is also very fluid. Arguably better than the one that I fell in love with in Gordo's Future Past. Panning around the character to find the perfect position to execute my strategy was as simple as moving the right stick left or right to rotate around the focal point, or up and down to pan in and out. The camera also dynamically zooms in on characters as they perform any actions, similar to the aforementioned Gordo's Future Past. Children of Zodiac is an almost flawless game. It's got an exceptional plot, very likable characters, with a unique yet familiar style of gameplay, but as I just said, it's almost flawless. The only conceivable flaw this game has is related to its shortcomings associated with its audio. And no, it's not the music or sound effects. Those are great and fit the tone of the ever-changing plot quite well. Notice I said shortcomings and not an issue with the audio. Those that listen to our podcast, That Beautiful Life, episode 198, will have heard me mention that the game lacks voice acting. It's all text-based and really well written, but throughout my experience with the game, I felt a longing to hear the voices of the characters that I had become so emotionally attached to. At the game's current price of $17.99, I'd consider voice acting inconceivable, but I'd wholeheartedly welcome a paid DLC that adds voices to the dialogue scenes between the characters. So with all that I've said so far, this is my final verdict. It should come as no surprise that I am highly recommending this game after all that I've said so far about it. It's one of the best titles on PlayStation 4 and Steam right now, and I'd love to see it make its way to the Vita and Switch someday. Children of Zodiarcs is a modern day gem that players that fancy strategy RPGs should not pass up on the opportunity of playing. Thank you very much for watching our review of Children of Zodiarcs. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to give us a like. If you have any opinions about the game, please make sure to leave it in the comment section below. And if you want other content like this from us, make sure to subscribe to our channel.